You all being here. I'm Richard Nightingale. I'll be back up here shortly, but to kick off, let me introduce the owner, Tuffy Schallenberger. So I'll bring him up for opening remarks. Okay, thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Wow, what a turnout. First of all, I want to thank everybody for coming out. As you guys know, last year was a very difficult year. Having to put the Pittsburgh Riverhounds and Highmark Stadium into Chapter 11 reorganization. It's probably one of the most difficult things I ever had to do in my business career. But sometimes you got to make tough decisions, and if we would not have made that decision, the future of pro soccer in Pittsburgh was very bleak. But now we have a confirmed plan, and a reemergence is going to be here in the next 2 weeks. The future is very bright. It's very bright for soccer in Pittsburgh. So that being said, I want to introduce to you the new president of Pittsburgh Riverhounds and Highmark Stadium, Mr. Richard Nightingale. Richard's he'll serve as president of both entities, the team and the stadium. And Richard has extensive experience in branding and commercial leadership. He spent 15 years with Nike. So we've been working hard here in the last month or so to get everything lined up because we want to do this right. So with that being said, because you guys know I don't like to talk too much, so with that being said, here's Richard.
Well, thanks for that introduction and kind words, Tuffy. It's good afternoon to everybody. It's great to be here. You know, I'm delighted to be standing here as president of the Riverhounds and Highmark Stadium. Just a fantastic time for me, but I'm also very aware of the responsibility that brings. You know, I've been in the sports industry 20 plus years. You know, Nike. I was general manager of Umbro, the soccer brand. And, I've never been as energized as I am now when I first met Tuffy and we started talking about the great opportunity and to have that opportunity to come here. I know Pittsburgh, I lived in Pittsburgh back in '94 for a couple of years. I know how great of a sports city it is, so I'm very aware of that. But just the interest in soccer, I think, coming out of Brazil in 2014, the participation all through, whether it's youth, through the pro, that this country, and the expectation now. So, and I'm really, conscious of the landscape and the timing, and it's just a great time for the Riverhounds to really move forward and fulfill their potential. So that's what gets me up in the morning, to fulfill that potential and really move on and take this organization to the next level. Yeah. My vision and kind of ambition is that the Pittsburgh Riverhounds and Highmark Stadium become kind of what I would call the North Star, and you'll hear me talk about North Stars. I'm a big believer in having a vision and where we want to go. Not only for soccer in Western Pennsylvania, but ultimately we become renowned nationally for what we do here, and we set the benchmark, whether it's for developing players, it's for innovative training, it's for a game experience, because I'm all about the fan. First and foremost, I'm a fan of the game, and you'll see me sitting in the stands and enjoying it. I love to watch soccer, and ultimately, when people say, what do you want to do? I want to watch a game and be excited. So, and then also the community involvement, that's very key to me, and I'll talk about that shortly. But I was having dinner last night with a good friend of mine, Paul Childs, who obviously was an institution here on the soccer side in his playing days and pioneering the soccer in Pittsburgh. And I was sitting there, and he said to me, well, what does success look like for you? And so I was kind of put on the spot by a good friend, and I took a gulp of Guinness and kind of said to him, You know, it's our pro team winning. I said to Mark, who you'll meet in a second, I'd rather win 5-3 than 1-0. He may not agree with me, but that's how I see it, you know. I want to see fans tailgating in a parking lot 2 hours before a game. You know, rightly or wrongly, I want to see people scalping tickets at the front gate, you know, and on the sidewalks doing that. People putting Riverhounds games on their calendar, you know, 3 weeks ahead, that they're planning their social calendar around these games and doing that. So, and then that we attract, you know, the brightest and the best coaches, that they can be a great resource for players in the community, whatever age. That ultimately that you know, everybody enjoys playing here. We're a great resource for not only for, you know, the teams we have on the umbrella of Pittsburgh Riverhounds, but for other clubs, that we can be inclusive in that regard. And when it's all said and done, I want to bring a women's professional team here inside 3 years. I've talked to Tuffy about that. That'll be a focus for us, because the women's game, girls, obviously we just won a national title, and you know, the women's and girls side at the club is phenomenal. So that's kind of another of my North Stars and ambition to do that, and we have the venue to do that. But truly be a pyramid of what I call a pyramid of soccer excellence on the field, and just as importantly off the field. So that's how I see us. Being an integral part of the community is very important to me. Collaborating with world-class organizations, that's how I see us going forward. And that'll only take us to new heights. The second person I met, first person being Tuffy, was John Paul at Allegheny Health Network. When I met with him, we had dinner, and I soon realized what a quality individual he was, first class, that Allegheny Health Network was an innovative company, that they were best in class, and they were a company that was just one dedicated to excellence. And I knew that we'd been working with them, obviously, but I really wanted to escalate that and make sure it was a long term, and we committed together to move forward on various fronts. So, and obviously that the community is an integral part of that. So I want to, it's my high honor to introduce Dr. Patrick DeMeo, Chair of the Department of Orthopedic Surgery at Allegheny Health Network, and welcome him to the family at the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. And I know that we welcome all the 2,100 physicians, 17,000 employees, and 2,000 volunteers. So it's my high honor to introduce Dr. DeMeo. And just to let you know, on the front of the jersey this year, you will see Allegheny Health Network home and away. So, and we'll make this available, take pictures later on, but it's all yours, Doctor.
Thank you, Richard. On behalf of Allegheny Health Network, it's great to be here today and listen to all the exciting changes in store for the Riverhounds. I'd also like to wish both you, Richard, and Mark the best of success in your new careers here in Pittsburgh. The Department of Orthopedics and Sports Medicine program at Allegheny Health Network prides itself in delivering top quality care for professional and amateur athletes alike. We're able to meet the needs and improve the performance of elite athletes such as the Riverhounds and the Pittsburgh Pirates, and we provide the same type of expertise to collegiate athletes at Robert Morris University, as well as 21 local high schools throughout Western Pennsylvania. In 2013, Allegheny Health Network was honored to be selected as an official regional medical center for the U.S. Olympic Committee, providing comprehensive medical care for Team USA's Olympic and Paralympic athletes. And by the way, this morning was the first Olympic athlete that I had a chance to operate on, so that was quite an experience. Allegheny Health Network has enjoyed a great collaborative relationship with the Riverhounds over the years, and we are pleased to continue and strengthen that relationship in the upcoming 2015 season. In addition to providing athletic training services and medical care for the Riverhounds and youth players from the club's academy, Allegheny Health Network will now offer a broader range of programs to promote physical fitness, injury prevention, and provide important education regarding concussion prevention and detection. We will also provide the club with exclusive access to C3 Logics, a cutting-edge concussion assessment and management system with the unique capability to precisely measure an athlete's balance and postural stability. Providing the care, training, and tools to help players perform at their best is Allegheny Health Network's mission, and we look forward to helping the Riverhounds achieve a winning season this year. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thanks. We'll take this as well, and we'll get some pictures here
Okay.
shortly, if
Thank
that's
you.
okay. Right?
Right, as long as I don't have to put it on, I'm not that
No,
skinny.
there's no way I was getting in that, so, yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. DeMeo, for those kind words. So, to other matters, let me, once again, thank you, Dr. DeMeo. This is probably a really poor analogy, so I'm going to apologize ahead of time, and bearing in mind in present company, but Jason Cutney bleeds the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, and coming in here, it was eminently, I became eminently aware that Jason was going to play a leading role here and play a significant role going forward. It's a period of transition, but as Tuffy said, we're really on good footing going into the new year. Everything is set for us to really excel and move this forward. So Jason continues to be a great resource in the 3-4 days that I've been here and the couple of trips that I've made. And I've asked Jason to take on a new role, and that is going to be a sporting director. And I'll have him come up shortly, and he's going to introduce our new head coach, and he'll have a few words. That job will be reporting to me, but basically he'll be responsible for the playing side of the Riverhounds, and that includes the USL Pro team, the PDL, our academy, and also youth teams, and as we expand. So I'm really, really pleased to have somebody of Jason's quality, with the club going forward. I'm very aware and thankful of all the work he's done to date. Not only Jason, but all the employees at the Riverhounds and Highmark Stadium. It's not been an easy time, but there are good times ahead, and I'm sure you can see a lot of people smiling today. So let me bring up Jason Cutney. Thanks.
Thank you for coming out. Just standing over there, it's funny because looking at the backdrop here, knowing that today was going to arrive, and being able to turn around and see this is what it's all about for me. As Richard mentioned, the Pittsburgh Riverhounds has been my life. I live and die for this club, and I was very happy that we didn't die. I was very happy that an individual like Tuffy Schellenberger stepped up and helped this club in ways that were unimaginable in some of the most difficult times that I could have ever faced in my career. I'm very, very excited to take on a role where I can now focus on soccer, and fully soccer. The last couple of years, especially this past year, it's been a different world for me. I've learned a tremendous amount. I've said it to my wife a few times, I'd rather be dumb, possibly. But I certainly have learned a lot. But I really learned what my passion was, and my passion was the game of soccer, and I need to get back to that. That's what I want to do. That's what drives me every day, and that's why the hard times aren't so hard, And so I'm excited to take on this role. I'm excited to really dive into the development side of this club. I'm very passionate about the youth academy. I'm a big believer in the PDL team and giving us a new inroad for future prospects, and also on the professional side. I had the opportunity to play for 9 years as a pro. Now I get to look at it from the opposite side and see some of these young, talented players coming up through the system and look for ways to get them to the highest level possible through the Riverhounds and because of the Riverhounds. And now really starting to focus on the other side of drawing them into Pittsburgh because of who we are, because of what we do, and because of the resources that we're able to provide for them. So it's an exciting day. Last year, obviously, was a season that we fought through. It was no surprise to anyone there. We had to make a difficult decision and bring on to an interim coaching staff a little bit midway through that season or so. Brought Nico Katic in, elevated him from a player in the locker room next to all the players into a very tenuous situation as a head coach. Very big ask for him, an enormous ask for him, but Nico has always been the soldier for the club. We've had some tremendous people that have worked here. I've had the pleasure of working alongside some amazing people in the Riverhounds organization. They're all here today. But Nico has been one of those guys that it never ceases to amaze me what he's willing to do for the club. In that moment when I went down and gave him probably 10 minutes notice of the new position that he was going to take for the club, he used all 10 minutes to get mentally prepared for that. I give him a tremendous amount of credit for that. He put in the work, and he's going to be remaining on with the Riverhounds in a coaching capacity as an assistant coach. He's given us that opportunity, and we're giving him the opportunity as well because we want to work with Nico. We believe that Nico is the heart of the Riverhounds organization on the field, and we're going to hope that he can develop further as a coach alongside a very, very capable new head coach. So with that, I will introduce Mark Steffens, who will become the new head coach of the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. I've had the pleasure of playing against many of Mark's teams over the years. He was the head coach of the Charlotte Eagles for 18 years. During that 18 years, he's put together a win-loss record that's quite impressive. He's gone to the playoffs 14, 15 times or so. He's gone to the championship game 8 times. He was also a coach a couple of years ago had a Charlotte Eagles team, which has always had the lowest player budget in the USL, that went on to a championship game and had probably the most exciting USL Pro Championship that has ever taken place in a 7-4 loss to Orlando City in front of 25,000 people. But the one thing that I know about Mark is that he's a leader. He is every bit of a leader. And so when we looked at candidates for this position coming out of the year that we had last year, going into a new, fresh start for the Riverhounds, we wanted someone who's going to be capable of leading a team and leading a club. And he brings that with him. He brings a wealth of experience, obviously, over 18 years in the pro game in the USL, but he also just brings the intangibles with him of gaining the respect of his team right away by learning his team, by meeting his team, by helping his team along and teaching them how to fully engage in the game of soccer and be successful. And for us, that was, at the end of the day, the biggest driving force for bringing Mark on. So with that, I'll introduce Mark Steffens as the new head coach of the Pittsburgh Riverhounds.
Thank you, Jason, for those kind words. Great to see all you out there. Wow, this is fantastic. Excited about this opportunity. It's for sure a challenge, but one that I love. I love challenges. And anybody that gets involved in soccer in the United States, you're in for a bit of a challenge, but that's a good thing. Let me quote my mentor, who I've never met. Actually, I have met once, but I read a lot of his books. His name is John Maxwell. And in one of his books, he said, 1 is too small a number to achieve greatness. And I mean, that's something that I live by. You need a good team around you. And I don't just mean those guys back there, a good soccer team. You need a good team of people around you that's working hard, that's pulling the rope in the same direction. And coming up here last week and meeting with Tuffy and Richard and Jason, that's what I got. I left telling my family that this is the right place. They're all pulling the rope in the right direction. I've been with a couple of franchises in New York, pro franchises, years and years ago. I'm a New Yorker. I used to be, anyway. And there were some people pulling the rope in the opposite direction, and that just gets to be a tug of war, and that's not fun. Your progress is limited, it's slow, but leaving here last week, I knew that this organization is headed for even better things. I know it's stable now. I love the facility. I love the people here. I see great things ahead for this organization, and I'll just be a small part of it because 1 is too small a number to achieve greatness. One of my mottos in life is excellence, striving to be excellent in everything I do. And I heard Richard mention that word a few times. And that's another thing that really attracted me here because I heard that in the meetings we had, that they want to be excellent in everything they do. If you strive to be excellent in everything, every aspect of your lives, winning and success is just a byproduct of that. If you don't strive for excellence, you don't win. You can't succeed. And that's something that we'll try to push here. I'm also a big family guy. I love family. That word was mentioned a few times in the talks up here. And I know Pittsburgh, I know if you're as old as I am, you young guys in the back won't understand any of this, but was it Sister Sledge that wrote the song "We Are Family"? I remember that because now catch me right here. I used to be a Yankee fan, okay, in baseball. Used to be. That's going to be a Pittsburgh Pirates fan real quickly because they've had some good seasons, right, Richard? Yeah. But 69, they were all about we are family, and that's what has to be developed, I believe, here. You know, one question that a few people that knew when I was coming up here, they said, I guess it's going to be a rebuilding year. And I was like, yeah, you know, it's going to be a rebuilding season because there's only a handful of guys that are on the team. But don't take that word the wrong way. I actually don't like that word at all because the connotation of rebuilding is you're bad and you're going to lose a lot. That's not going to happen here, I believe. Okay, we have to rebuild because there's only going to be a handful of players from the team last year, but the rebuilding process will be working on getting everybody on the same page. I think preseason should be 2 months. That's not going to be the case. But players, get ready. We're going to try to squeeze 2 months into one, so you'll need to be ready for that. And I believe that we'll field a very, very strong team on the field this year, even though we're rebuilding it. So, guys, thanks for bringing me on. I really appreciate everything you guys have said to me and done for our family, and I'm very, very excited about pulling the rope in the same direction. Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. So everybody's going to be around, you know, and accessible. Any questions? I'm quite happy to, if there's any, you know, right now that you'd like to ask, I'll take questions, whether it's myself, Mark, Dr. DeMeo, Tuffy, Jason. I'll leave it to you. We'll be around mingling. We're not going to be scurrying away. So if anybody has any questions, I'll gladly take those, or we'll just... No? Yeah. My team, actually from Wolverhampton, England, so I've you know, suffered a few years, but to be honest, I'm just a great fan of, you know, watching soccer. I love to be amazed to see players of any age out there and what they can do and see the potential and, you know, and just give them the opportunity to show what they can do. But obviously, England national team's not been kind to me, but... I'm a huge fan of the EPL, and one of the things I want to do downstairs with the area we have is kind of, you know, have games on there Saturday morning and make that, we're going to build that out and make that into a really good social environment, and that's one of the first things that I'm going to do and really soccerize, use the word homage, but respect to all that has, you know, gone before on soccer in Pittsburgh that's going to come. So you'll see a lot of that, whether it's, you know, from the days of Paul Charles. We've got a lot of memorabilia here, and we're going to start to put it up here. So, and obviously a lot of future memories we're going to create. So, yeah. Yes, at the back, yeah.
You came from Nike, and they are the kings of branding.
Yeah.
In a lot of different ways. I'm just curious about, obviously winning is the thing you want to brand, but before that happens, what else, in terms of branding, do you bring to the table, and lessons you've learned over your long career at Nike?
Yeah, I think it's do a few things and do them really well. You know, don't try and peanut butter it, and you know, strive for excellence, get good people around you, put good teams together, and have a really strong story, and have a vision. And so I'll be putting together, you know, a 3-year plan, 1 year, 3 year, and then out to 5 years. So, and it'll be all encompassing. It'll be very holistic, not only on the playing side, but you know, what we do with the stadium here. As I talked about, a women's professional team. So I've been fortunate to work with some really good branding people, and I think as we evolve the Riverhounds, whether it's the logo or just how we market the team, I'll certainly be taking a leading role in that, and just getting the story out there and be inclusive and let people know, you know, I want to be transparent. I don't want, I was saying to somebody the other day, I don't want to be an inward or an inbound type of organization. You know, I want to be outbound. I want to let people know what we're doing, be a good evangelist, and I encourage everybody to do that. You know, and I think one of the, you know, the most recent things is I was doing some consulting for a social media company in Portland. And I think social media and the whole digital thing that's going on is something that we can really tap into and, you know, evolve. That would be a good vehicle for us, and obviously that doesn't take away from the traditional media. But so I have much work ahead of me, and I'm really looking forward to getting into it and sharing that with everybody, not only inside the club but outside, and obviously with Allegheny, the Health Network. I don't want to take the spotlight away from that, but there are other major sponsors. Obviously with my Nike background, I met with Nike last week, and they're having a much more elevated involvement in the club. And when you've got a premium brand like that, I think that just, and as I said in my opening remarks, that's just where we want to be. We want to be with world-class organizations, Allegheny Health Network, Nike, those ilks, and do that, and that's what I'll continue to do. And there are a lot of those in Pittsburgh, so, and I want to be inclusive and bring them in. So it's, not to ramble on, it's an exciting time, and hopefully that answered your question. Thank you. Yes, sir.
The women's team, a couple of times you mentioned that they
Yeah.
would you be looking at NWSL or USLW?
Well, I want us to play at the highest level that there is, and I have contacts at US Soccer, Dan Flynn, Jay Burholton. I've been talking to them about this even the last week, and when we do it, we're going to go hard and we'll do it well. It's not something we're just going to dip our toes into, and I think it's a natural progression, evolution for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. I think when you look, I remember the Brandy Chastain at the Rose Bowl. I was there, and it's I think when I look at the that side of the club, the girls that are playing, we have some tremendous talent here, and I want to be able to, the coaching that we give them through the academy and the youth, I want them to have this aspiration and ambition that we've got, a team on the pro level that they can aspire to play on, and they can play in their hometown. And I think it's natural for us. We have the facility. And, I'm absolutely confident that the women's game will get where it needs to be on a professional level. I'm good friends with Merritt Paulson of the Portland Timbers, and I see what he's done with the Thorns. I'm from Portland, Oregon, and I'll be moving out from there. So I've got some great ideas, and talking to Phil Rawlins at Orlando City about his plans. And so there's some great, in terms of best practices to pull from, and I'll certainly be doing that. To bring them in-house here, and as we evolve, as I say, that'll all be part of a broader plan that we will have, going forward. So, yes.
How much of your challenge do you think is just growing the appeal of soccer in people's minds in general, as opposed to just the Riverhounds in particular?
Yeah, I think it's a continual challenge. I think NBC Sports have done a phenomenal job. I watch 4 or 5 games in the morning. I think a lot of kids now, and having worked in the brand, I actually, back in '95, I was one of the founding people at Nike Soccer. We were doing about $2 million. I mean, some of the product we made, the boots, you wouldn't go near a swimming pool with. And I see a good friend of mine, Steve Beckman, in the back, who runs, Pittsburgh Soccer, and he'll tell you when I first showed up with those. But I still think it's a challenge. I'm still amazed the women's game hasn't evolved to where it's at. I think, knowing people at MLS, I think the soccer-specific stadiums like this, you need that, and we've got that, so that's in place. I think there's definitely, as I look at youth clubs and go around the country, it's there. So I think it's just, just continue to be an evangelist. You have a good product on the field, and we'll get there, I mean, you've got to be patient, When did baseball start? When you look at soccer, it's kind of still in its infancy, I would suggest to you. So, but we'll get there, and it's our job to accelerate it, not only, and we have our responsibility at the Pittsburgh Riverhounds to do that and play our part. But I think just knowing the people that are in the game, whether it's Orlando, Sacramento, US Soccer, Dan Garber, MLS, we're going to get there. And I think the USL as well is positioning itself great with what Alec Papadakis has done. And we were just down there, myself, Tuffy, and Jason, and John Rutz in Tampa, talking to Alec. We're in a great spot, and it's just our responsibility now to accelerate it. So, yes, sir.
Can you elaborate maybe a little bit about potential, or what 2015 may look like as far as affiliation and...
Yeah, I'm going to be really candid with you now, and as you get to know me, I'm quite a transparent guy, and I get, kind of distill everything down. I'm not going to talk around anything. We're not going to have a partnership with Houston going forward. I made that decision, and we've communicated that to Houston. We're going to take what I would call our our fate in our own hands. Houston are going to put a team in the USL Pro next year, so it would have been a one-year deal when I talked to them, and it didn't make any sense. I don't think that it was all, you know, as good as it could have been last year. I mean, the thing for me is, you know, they can send players over here and they expect them to play, but they may not be of the quality that we need. There may be, and there probably will be players who should be playing ahead of them. It just creates a lot of angst, phone calls going back and forth, etc. So in talking with, you know, when I was talking with Mark and talking with Jason, and I looked at the player board, and, you know, we've got literally 30 really good, you know, not only at the club right now, but potential targets, is that I thought, I think we're in a great spot, so let's just control our own fate. I feel really good about it. I know we're going to have a very, very competitive team. And, you know, Mark talked about it a little bit, and I think he was underplaying it. You know, it's kind of, you know, you want to under-promise, over-deliver, right? But as we all should at times. But I'm really enthused. I mean, I'm a winner wherever I've been, you know, and it's... whether it's right or wrong to say that, I don't just come to participate, you know. I mean, I'm coming to, you know, when everybody comes to this stadium, whether it's the Montreals, it's the Red Bulls, they're going to know they were in the hardest game they played all season. And I hope it's cold, and I hope we compete for every ball, and they have to earn everything that they get. You know, that's how I want to set ourselves up, that we get this reputation. But you can see I'm passionate about it, probably getting carried away, but... Yes.
Control your own fate. I mean, presumably the USL will tell you that you need to partner with someone.
No, I've had that conversation with Alec. We're under no obligation to do that. I mean, it may be that during the season, God forbid that we don't have injuries, that the squad becomes depleted. I'll go out and maybe to Orlando City to Phil and or Sacramento or wherever and say, hey, we need you know, we need cover for a couple of weeks or a month, you know. But no, we're under no obligation with the USL. I mean, I'm, you know, made that perfectly clear to the USL what we're going to do this year as well, and they were fine with it.
And there's no obligation from MLS.
No. We're good? We're going to be around, so thanks again, and I'm happy to, you know, everyone's to. Thank you again, I really do appreciate it. Thanks.